Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the hot and sticky APAT show. Sunday night, 9:30. Of course, Lee, is it as hot on the south coast as it is inside the circle of London?
Yeah, you probably got it worse. I would imagine. Although we always get decent temperatures down here. But yeah, it's been a bit like that all day. And I don't know whether you've been sat watching a bit of Glasgow over the weekend and going, well, it could be worse. You could be in the middle of a field somewhere. I mean, there's worse places to be. That is for sure. But hey, Sunday night, and there's what a better place to be than APAT show, 9:30, last one of June, and boy, we've got some poker action on the go for you guys, and you've got 18 minutes if you fancy getting involved. Wow. We've kind of got it's like an unofficial final table at the moment, because if somebody else rocks up in the next 18 minutes, then we'll split these guys apart into two tables again. So, but yeah, we're playing for APAT Players' Choice seats, as we always do on a Sunday night. Two guaranteed. Well, we've got through that too. I think we've got 12 entries so far in this. There's a little bit of cash going at the moment for third place. A couple more entries, though. We might get that up to three seats. So you've got 18 minutes if you want to get involved on grosvenorpoker.com. The one and only Renot is currently our chip leader. There's Tony Ross doing what Tony Ross does best. And as I'm watching this, I'm finally getting the chance to actually share this into the group. So bear with me, because it's been on a super go slow that it wasn't there. So we will get there. But yeah, got a lot of the usual suspects on this time. Actually, somebody else has just joined us, so we have split again. So we've got another Andrew who's just come in. Nick Crossfield is having another go. So he's re-entered. So,
oh well, listen, Lee, you'll like this because, of course, I think it was at the point of you saying, "But you can still get in" last week that sent poor old Stevie 40 over the edge for much of the remaining hour and a half. To be honest, as Tris came in, and Tris has just joined the chat and said, "Yeah, tempted to buy in. I don't want to piss people off though," as it goes.
He's okay.
Hand
Tell
at 9.
Tris,
that's
you're
hilarious.
okay. Someone's already done it.
Get in.
And to be honest, you can't annoy that Steve 40, because he late-regged.
He loves it.
Steve 40 was all over the Dara late reg tonight. I watched him. All of a sudden he popped in, sort of, about 10 past 9, and just was like, right, okay, now I'm in and now going to do the business. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, so we've got 12 at the moment. Say 3 more and we'll get up to three seats tonight, as is all the way with these APAT Players' Choice. So very similar to, I guess we started the APAT Players' Choice on Poker Raffles, really, when we said, well, we'll just make those prizes available on a weekly basis. Very similar with our satellites on Grosvenor Poker. So basically, if you win one of these tonight, your name gets added to a list. It's a good list, though. It's not the naughty list. It's the good list. You're okay from that point of view. Yeah, we do have a good list, and yeah, basically you can then use that £140 seat for any event you like. You can use it for any of our main events. You can chop it up and use it for a couple of side events at something. You can use it for the WSOP at Dusk Till Dawn in August. You can even use it if you want to go and play something overseas. If you want to go and play in Ash, or you want to play in Malta, we'll use it as contribution towards your buy-in for that. So well worth giving it a go. And say, all we ask is you use them up in 2025. So we're not sat with loads of them. But hey, so many choices though. So Liverpool, obviously, in a couple of weeks' time. Then it's the Worlds. Then in the autumn, you've got Portsmouth, Leeds, Glasgow, Malta, Ash. Then we're back down in London for the UK COAP at the end of November. Can even use it for squads. So our last event of the year will be squads at Dusk Till Dawn. So if you've still got any lying around, then you can use it for your entry for squads at Dusk Till Dawn as well. So plenty of opportunities what to do. But yeah, the water is warm, as they say. So do jump in if you like. You've got 14 minutes if you want to get involved in that. Speaking of Malta, we put a new draw up on Raffles. We've not actually told anyone about this, so somebody already bought tickets, Des.
Before we put it up, Leigh. Before we put it up. Before we told anyone.
Yeah, before we've actually even told anybody. Someone's already booked. We've got our biggest ever draw for the Malta Poker Festival in the autumn. If you want to go out and play APAT out there, this is a great way to do it as well, because we're part of the packages are a seat credit. So you can use that, use it and play the main event at Malta. Don't get me wrong, that's €500,000 guarantee main event, definitely. But obviously, APAT has a super event out there every year, which I think is €120. I want to say. So yeah, you can use it for that if you want. That is on the site now. I'll tell you what. Shall I give you a sneaky? Let me see if I can give you a sneaky look at the
sneaky peeky.
Sneaky peeky. There you go.
Oh, look at
it's
that.
There. Somebody has already bought a tenner's worth of tickets. So we've not even told anyone about it yet. In fact, you guys watching tonight now, the first ones to officially get told about it. It's a triple draw as well. So 3 chances to win. So first prize is an €1,100 seat credit and £1,000 cash. And then we've got second and third prizes, which is a €550 seat credit and £500 cash, which is what we normally do for a Malta. So the top prize is double what we normally do for a Malta package. But we've got 3 of them in total. So you can win the absolute big one, double the one, or 2 chances to win what we normally do for Malta. 3 chances in total. It's running during the summer. We're going to draw it the first week in September. A cracking way to get yourself out to Malta and also get to play the APAT event whilst you're out there as well.
End of October, Leigh?
End of October, beginning of November. So runs from the 27th of October to the 3rd of November. Yeah. APAT event is on the 1st and 2nd of November, the weekend. So the Saturday and Sunday. So well worth doing it. 26 tickets left on the APAT draw. You can see bottom left of your screen there. If you want in for this week's one, that's all that's left on that one. That's nearly sold out. And of course, a third way to win APAT seats at the moment on Raffles is top left of your screen, which is the DTD Summer draw. So you've got 3 options of what you want to play with that. You can play the DTD series or the UKPC event, but you can also, if you win that, get £560 seat credit for the WSOP in August and pick your events. 21 events we've got there, dusk till dawn across 6 days. And you can basically spend that £560 however you fancy it. Only 200 tickets left on that one as well. So well worth checking out. And if you are new to Poker Raffles and an APAT member, you can use code APAT25 and get 25% off your first purchase for new customers. So if you're watching tonight and have never played on Poker Raffles, use code APAT25 and you will get 25% off so make that first basket worthwhile is what I'm saying, is have a little bit of everything that you want, get your 25% off all of that, and then fingers crossed we'll be picking your name on a Monday night.
Excellent
there you go.
stuff.
We're back to this unofficial final table again. It's about the 3rd time I think we've got there with it. You've got 10 minutes left if you want to get involved. Tris is probably feeling guilty now. No, he probably won't now, because now it's back to a final 8 again. So he might wait and see if a seat comes available in the next 10 minutes.
We were talking about Malta. Damien said good evening earlier. Good evening to you, Damien. Of course, Damien won a main event package, right? Can't wait.
Yeah.
Going off to Malta, right? Incredible
Fantastic.
stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna come around quicker than you realise. I can't believe we're nearly at the point of the main event of the World Series, and it feels like we were talking about the World Series starting a lifetime ago, but it's absolutely flown by. And Malta is going to come around so quick. And from an APAT point of view, we have got so much going on. We're 3 weeks away from Liverpool. Once we're done with Liverpool, before you know it, say 3 weeks later, is it, or maybe 4 weeks later, we're going to be in Nottingham for the Worlds. Wow. We get that over and done with, and then it is just kind of back. It's back to back events. I think we're Portsmouth beginning of September, then we're Glasgow at the kind of end of September. Then there's the German Championships over in Ash beginning of October. Then we're in Leeds in the UK middle of October, and then it's Malta end of October, beginning of November. It's going to absolutely fly by. Really wall-to-wall APAT events towards the end of the year.
Yeah, amazing. That should be great. Good evening to Simon as well. Oh, and Damien's asking a question here at WSOP, Leigh. I don't know if you have the answer to this. Tom might be looking into it. Any news about a Polish team?
A Polish team? What, to clean the tables and stuff?
No. To clean the trophy, as in that great win. When did they do it, Leigh? I want to say 19... No. What am I saying? 2008? 2009, maybe? Marcin Raymakin's team?
Not that we need to get a team in to polish the trophies. No, he's talking about a team from Poland, yeah?
That's the one.
Yeah.
The Polish.
Okay, right, yeah.
The Polish.
Yeah.
Not the Polish, Leigh.
Yeah, I'm assuming there is going to be a Polish team, I would assume.
I suppose the answer in that, Damien, is we don't know. We don't know yet.
I will have to double check with Tom what the situation is. But I would imagine there would be, because there normally is. So...
Simon,
and I saw Simon saying there are another 20 events after the main. Yeah, there's still a long way to go. Yeah, I understand what Simon's saying about preferred it when the main event was the last event. Of course, the main event goes on for 8 days or something like that, I think. A bit of a tricky one. Unfortunate there for Wayne Parker with the ace 5 up against double tops ace king 10-5 on the flop. Unfortunate timing for Wayne, and we're going to lose Wayne in 8th place. So there is a spare seat at this final table. Currently paying top 2 are going to get a 140 seat, plus there's some cash for 3rd place at the moment, which is £56. Someone's filled that seat. It's been filled by one Tristal Bust. I'd said to you, just wait until there was a spare seat on this final table.
Knows what he's doing, Leigh. Knows what he's doing.
Room for a little one, and he is in there with so what's he got? So Tristan sitting down now with 16.5 bigs. He's got to play with. So let's see whether he can spin that up into a seat. Fingers crossed he can do it. But yeah, it's the World Series is it's an interesting one, isn't it? As something's just gone completely dead on me. You might lose the table.
Really?
Quite possibly.
Okay, still going at the moment. That said, we're not seeing a lot of action on it. Is it frozen?
I think it's frozen. Bear with me a minute. You've still got me, but you've lost the table. Everything just went black. Yeah, everything just went completely black.
Oh, no. Went pop. It's the heat, folks. It's the heat, I tell you.
Yeah, no, it definitely just went. I've had enough of this.
There's a bunch of you out there in the chat box. Say hello. Say hello. Let us know what you've been doing on your Sunday that has led you to finish off your weekend with a shot at this APAT satellite. Leigh, I drove to Bristol and back. I was on the road at 8 a.m. this morning.
That's pretty impressive. Is that end of uni for another
it's the
year?
Second. It was the second load of stuff down. The sort of the house goes back at the end of the month, so second load of stuff had to come back down. It's gone into storage.
Oh wow! Right then, I think I've got this back, but you might have lost the.
Let's
see if we can reconnect the. There we go. We can reconnect the table. There we go.
I do agree with Simon. I do like the thought of the main being the last event. I'm quite comfortable with other events happening parallel to it. But
yeah, once the main's
quite nice if that closes out.
Yeah, it should
Series.
just end. I mean, they have I think they have a one at the very, very last day, and I swear that it's just they're kind of like clearing tables away, and as a table breaks in that tournament, they're clearing that table away as well.
Yeah.
And there's nothing left there. I can't believe anybody. I don't think I've ever been out there in Vegas that late when the really the last couple of days events go on. But hey, it's the numbers have been phenomenal. I think they've said they're up year on year again.
And a couple of very notable British performances in the last week, Leigh. players that are very well known to us.
Yeah, it's been a number of decent runs. We didn't quite get the bracelet that we were hoping for in the 5K with
PLO, right? Was it PLO?
No, no, I don't think it was.
No, actually, it might have been a 6-max. It might have been a 6-max of
I think
sorts.
Yeah. So yeah, with Neil and Brandon, unfortunately, but decent, ridiculously good runs from both of them. Yeah, absolutely, and a little bit of scandal coming across the pond from the final table of the Millionaire Maker, which was a really interesting story. I'm very surprised, Des, you haven't picked up on this.
No, I missed it.
Or you're not aware of this. So the final two in the Millionaire Maker, one of them was one of the promo players from WPT Gold, and if they won a bracelet, they would win. They would win an additional million. Yeah, so I think second prize money was about $1 million. I think the winner was taking home about 1.2, if I remember rightly, and two professional players, and yeah, it would appear that perhaps a conversation was had and a 10-1 chip lead was overcome, and an additional $1 million was scooped. It's kind of hard to argue it, really. I mean, I think the facts are that's probably what's happened. I guess it's a question of have they broken any rules or regulations for either the promotion that was being run or and I don't think they have with the World Series, because ultimately you've got to play you can play your cards how you want to play your cards, and that's how they chose to play them, and they should just be paying them out. The question is, I guess, is whether they've broken any rules with the additional promo money. But I get the impression they're quite happy to pay it out and take the all the publicity from it.
But Leigh, just playing devil's advocate here for a minute, it's not necessarily true that you can play your cards the way you want to play your cards. I mean, there are kind of some quite clear statements around, soft playing or, now I guess you can make a deal. And I don't know if there are any rules around soft playing when you're heads up. So there's maybe some conflicting positions here. But the spirit of the game
I'd have to see exactly. Yeah, I'd have to see exactly what the rules are. There are certain things that you can and can't do about but when you can check on the river and when you muck your hand, depending on what's happened pre and there's certain things around that. But ultimately, I suppose they've not colluded to benefit themselves against any other player. Because the top two,
but against the operator they have.
Which operator?
Well, whoever put up the 1 million for the ticket holder, right?
So but what I'm saying is that's a completely different operator, and that's what I'm saying is, so as far as I'm concerned, I don't think they've done anything massively wrong with the WSOP, and therefore that should get paid as well. The question is whether they have broken anything integrity wise with the promotion as such. But is there anything in there which says we won't pay the $1 million if we think there's been soft play and you've been given the bracelet by somebody else to basically buck the system? I'm not sure, because I think they probably are quite happy to take their knowing the organisation involved. I don't think they're at all bothered about it. The fact that they've had two of them now so far this series is all good publicity, isn't it? So
let's have a look at the chat box, Leigh. So Steve says, hello guys, what about event number 53? The player got a 1 million WPT bonus if they won a bracelet. And Stefan says, what's your opinion about the Millionaire Maker? Simon says, hilarious. Steve says, Doug Poke posted on this, which he has done. Danny says, money talks, chop the 1 million, silly promo, I guess. Perhaps depends on how they kind of measure it. It might be that all of the publicity they're getting is potentially worth it. Stefan says, I've seen it from Doug Poke. Simon says, World Poker Tour enjoying the publicity, and goes on to say chip dumping is against the World Series of Poker rules. It's tricky though, because
chip dumping is obviously a really difficult one.
It is tricky
to prove. Now, normally chip dumping is the reason chip dumping is against rules is because normally is causing a negative impact on other players in the tournament.
Yeah.
When you're the final two, I'm not quite sure what chip dumping is. Who's it affecting? The two that are there. Yeah.
If you could prove that you'd done a deal heads up, which is, as far as I'm aware, acceptable, then it's not chip dumping any longer.
And obviously, I think WSOP have rules. There is no deals at 5. I believe there is no deals to be made. But you tell me. There's never been a deal at a WSOP event in the last 20 years. I don't believe that for 1 second. That's not the case.
APAT is the only series that have delivered on that.
Yeah. And even we struggle at times. It's a fun one at times. But yeah, it's I say obviously the poker Twitter absolutely blew up over it. But in reality, I mean, as Simon's saying there, the moral of the story is WSOP should enable deals. Yeah, because if they'd actually enabled them to both do a deal, they'd have come to some deal somewhere. Well, the trouble is they'd have had to do an ICM deal. So I suppose the only way they'll allow deals is if it's an ICM, which is, I think, what a lot of venues agree is basically if we're going to do deals, it's ICM. But of course, the guy had a 10-1 chip lead at the time, so they'd have had to chip dump for the other guy to be in the lead. And then do a deal, so he would then get first place. But I wonder whether anything in the promo rules would state that basically if you've chopped it and have been declared the winner, that doesn't count. Yeah, but ultimately they doubt it, wouldn't they? Yeah,
I doubt it. But I would also say legally, I would definitely be prepared to challenge the World Series of Poker in relation to the no deals rule. I would say they can certainly state that they won't facilitate a deal, but I'm pretty damn sure they cannot state that one individual and another individual can't make an agreement between themselves verbally, which is not facilitated by the World Series of Poker. So buyer beware, of course, in that scenario, right? You make a deal, you lose.
But it's similar. I mean, the WSOP is similar to APAT in that essence that you're playing for a bracelet there, and they are. They're difficult to get hold of unless you're Benny Glazer, in which case you've got a few down.
Loads of them, a room full of them.
Back of your in your
Stefan is saying here, a bit like the APAT WSOP team, only there it up front. If there's help for the players. So of course there can be a bit. I mean, we saw that from the German team. I mean, how we laughed. What was this, 3-4 years ago, Leigh? Honestly, it was one of the greatest nights of poker I ever watched. It was fantastic. Loved it.
I've ever commentated on. It was just it was the craziest moment.
Absolutely.
But hey, and we're 5 to the hour, so I think there you go. Players are on a break. Let me just give you a summary where we are with the poker because. I think I'm just trying to work out whether this late reg has shut or whether it's still sneaking out. It must have shut by now. Surely it has. Yeah. Carry on a bit. So we've got seven players left. So we're going to be basically paying seats to the top two and £84 for third place. 7 of them remaining. Double top 40. Done the sneaky Dara late reg. He is our chip leader at the moment.
He has learned, Leigh.
Yeah. Armadillo, Grim, and Renot are in second and third at the moment. Tristal Bust. Tristan has already built up his 16 bigs to 24 bigs. Seymour Tilts is in 5th, which is Alan. The Amblerman is in 6th, and Two Cats is the short stack
Amazing.
in 7th. Two Cats has got 7 bigs. So the short stack's got 7 bigs. Very much still all to play for. They'll be back after the break. She's got about another 4 minutes to go. And I just saw Wayne in the chat saying loved it. Obviously Wayne.
One of the great
nights.
One of the great nights.
Sat there going, this was great for the England team at the time, and let them get on with it, wasn't it? Very much.
Oh, Leigh, I don't know if you've seen this in the chat box from Steve. It's a bit like a Trump trade deal. He said, when the guy bet an odd number of chips, the winner would raise. When he bet an even number, the winner would fold.
Yeah,
What?
that's pretty much what somebody worked out was going on. Yeah. It was as pretty much as blatant as you're going to get. I mean, the comms on it. It was being one of the ones that was being live streamed on the Stars.
Oh, but it was classic
channel as well. It's all there to watch. It is highly entertaining. But as I say, when you're talking those sorts of numbers, I wonder whether would be more of a concern. Weirdly, the payouts on that final two, I think they wanted to just get the top two to both be made millionaires. So obviously it's the Millionaire Maker. So I think that's what they wanted to do.
Nice
so
headline.
Therefore the jumps were a bit weird. So I think I'm sure it went 1 million and then 1.2 million. So the reality of it is there wasn't a huge amount of a risk for them, and they knew each other anyway. So it was fairly blatant. But I suppose they both went with the view. Well, what's the risk here? They didn't think they were risking the WSOP payout by doing it. So the only thing they were risking was the million. Well, it was a 10-1 chip lead. So to be honest, he could easily have just he lost it anyway and not got it. So it was probably worth the risk to go, well, all right, let's do this. What have we got to lose on this? I would imagine they probably even chopped up the 1.2 and 1 million, and they probably took 1.1 million each. And I'd imagine they probably took half of the million bonus and agreed to do it that way, and just said, let's just do that. So they both take a 1.6 payday instead of 1.2. I mean, nice.
Probably took a few links of the bracelet each. Leigh, just mentioning
Simon's in the chat saying yes, very odd payouts at the end. Yeah, I only briefly saw them and just thought, what? Because I'm sure the jump from third to second was more than the jump from second to first. Let me see if I can find it on the app. I'm pretty sure that was what I saw. Maybe somebody in the chat can actually confirm that was the case, but I'm pretty sure that's what I remember seeing was the jump, which just made absolutely no sense to me. But I'll have a look whilst you're
Yeah, I was just going to comment, Leigh. We obviously talked about the two British lads who had great results in the 5K. I think it was a form of 6 max. Of course, I think Neil Farrell took, north, I think, of 350K, which was just insane.
Yeah.
And Brandon Shields took, I think, just over 200K, which again was another insane result. Brandon obviously super happy with it, but I think he went into the final table second of 5.
Yes,
and
he
then
did.
went out 5th.
Yeah.
Didn't see the hands, so obviously things turned a bit sour, but I think he was incredibly grateful for the run. And he seems to be a very humble guy. He was very open on, a couple of hands that, he just got a little bit fortunate on. But he also went on to say, Leigh, in his post on the Facebook, that he kind of sold 80% of himself.
Oh wow.
I think I'm quoting. I hope I'm quoting right there. But that allows the lad to play those huge big events, and it's fantastic that you can return that type of reward to your backers. Because as you know, it's not easy to do that every event. So you do it a big event, then your credibility in the space, goes through the roof. So fair play to him, and that result has been coming, Leigh, and it feels like there's another big one.
Yeah, absolutely. He is super good. Yeah, so just to confirm that, so the jump from third to second was 310,000, and the jump from second to first was 240,000.
Yeah, that's nonsense.
So it paid out from fifth place. Fifth place got 410,000. Then it went 534, 702, then 1,012,000, and then 1.25 million. Yeah, so the jump made, but I would imagine if they'd have done it, so was it 160? So it probably should have been a jump of about. So yeah, the correct jump would have seen second place picking up maybe 900 or 950, something like that. So they've obviously reworked it so that basically they made two millionaires with the numbers that they got. So fair play to them. So
fair income
for doing that. Yeah.
Stefan is out there just basically scandalizing all of the team events in World Poker. I know for sure in team events that team members know. So they do bet odd numbers and stuff like that. You can't be talking about our team events, surely. Do Team Germany bet odd? You know, so if I put out an odd raise, you know not to get involved because my ace-7 is superior. And it's not like I'm happy to take your chips every time. I wouldn't trust the system, Leigh, if that's going on.
No, it's. I mean, it's. There's not that many events. Say there's not that many team events anyway. Full stop. But there's not that many events where you can manipulate. Obviously, it's far easier to do for it to happen online than it is live, because you've got bigger groups of players that know each other online. But I would imagine in some of the bigger buy-in events where the fields are much smaller and you're seeing a lot more similar familiar faces with all the events you're playing. Yeah, they must get to know each other and obviously they've all got different percentages of each other. I mean, that's the hardest one, I suppose, is when you've got. I mean, you say there, Brandon sold 80% of himself, so. What do what do you do when you come up against somebody that you've got a percentage of? You know, how do you play that? Yeah. Especially if they're doing better than you in the tournament. You know, what do you do? I mean, they're all scenarios that must happen, and people must come across it all the time.
Yeah. I think you play. You know, your A game poker against them. There's kind of no other way to do it, because sure you can pass your chips to them, but then you're out. Likewise, they can pass some to you, but then they're kind of damaged. And frankly, these things will only work out half of the time in the way that you intended it to. So I would play your normal game.
There's no requirement to declare whether you have 100% of yourself or who's got what percentage of you anyway. I mean, so I would imagine on some of these high roller final tables and things. Whether they all kind of know who's backing who and what's going on. I'd be curious to know. It'd be fascinating to find out in that world exactly how it pans out. I think when you're just doing a little kind of swaps with each other and things like that, it's less of a big deal. I've only had that situation twice where I've been on the table with Paul when we've both got 10% of each other, but funnily enough, 2 final tables. But yeah, it's just a 10% swap. I think it's when people have got some bigger stakes, or they've got maybe some more staking where the players in makeup and that kind of thing, and there's more of a bigger deal going on. It'll be interesting to see. Yeah, that is for sure. Players are back. We're down to 6, so say top 3 are gonna get paid out here. Cash for third, and then seats for the top 2.
So just going back into the chat box, Leigh, Wayne says, going back to the final table of the WSOP team game, atmosphere on the table was electric, and with what happened with the Germans, the whole room was buzzing. Do you think now we use the DTT final table, you lose that atmosphere? Well, I mean, we've seen really good atmospheres around that DTT table with other team events, but it does require the players to be there and around it. I mean, you can actually come onto the staging area. You don't have to stay back behind the rail. But that said, Wayne is right. I mean, you know, some of the atmospheres that we've had around tables, down in the card room, particularly when the card room is busy, right? There's lots of people in there. Yeah, they can be electric. And if you're up at the back, you're up at the back.
You are up at the back. What I would say is that the last 2 squads games and the last UK team championship we've had was pretty much buzzing.
Yeah.
Up there. But yeah, where that incident happened was right down, for anyone that knows Dust Till Dawn, it would have been table 3, I think it was 2 or 3, which is right by the kind of the cashier's desk, and they were all up against the kind of rail there. So it really was just, you had players all around watching that going on. I mean, obviously, bear in mind, some people rock up to when that international team event's happening at Dusk Till Dawn. Even some of the regulars, every year they rock up and go, so what's going on here then?
We're going to play this, mate.
What's this? I don't care. What's this all about then? How can I get into can I play this? Yeah, so we still have it every year. Bear in mind we've been running it for the best part of 20 years now. What would have been 2007 was the first, would have been the Europeans' first time, and then the Worlds was the first time in 2008, I want to say, something like that.
Long time.
But yeah, still now, even to this day, you still get people kind of go, this looks fun. How can I get involved in this? What's it all about? All in the call, Two Cats has got Jack 10 and is going to need to hit, and has. Actually didn't need to hit, because Armadillo Grimm's 7-8, so actually Two Cats was ahead. I take that back. Or long, and double up for Two Cats up to nearly 10 bigs now. Still the short stack though at this final table. Unfortunately, we lost Trist. I didn't see
I didn't see Trist going, but he is gone. There he is, gone.
So Steve 40 says he's got 100% of himself for tonight. That's always good to know that your backers aren't going to be putting pressure on you, Steve.
Couldn't sell, Lee.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, trouble is, you can imagine Steve's markup will be phenomenal with his reputation. Yeah. That is very much the case. So yeah, still six to go here. We will fly. Didn't they say they started a little bit late again? I need to get some feedback from you guys. I mean, we originally started these at 7 o'clock on a Sunday night, and then moved it to 8. And the last couple of weeks, it's taken about sort of 10 minutes or so to get run. So how it works is it needs 5 to run, and if it gets, I think, a minimum of 2 reg, then they'll give it another 5 minutes, and to try, and then up to a maximum of 15 minutes to try and see if there are a few more people join, which I think is a really good way of doing it. A couple of the sites do that now, because it just means well, if there's been a bit of interest, well, we'll just see if we can get it, rather than just straight away going, oh well, it hasn't got the runners, done. I don't think there's any harm in seeing if you can get those people. But we then got it up and running. I think it had 7 or 8 when it did end up starting. So,
Tristan, Kings versus Ace Jack, all in pre-flop, first hand after the break. Wow, smashed.
Yeah, unfortunately. So maybe, but I don't know. Maybe So I'm not sure how late we can run it start it on the Sunday. I don't know. I think 8 o'clock feels about the latest we should be doing it, because sometimes this can go on till sort of 11, 11:15. So don't really want to leave it too much later than that. Appreciate that everybody's got lots to do on a Monday. So, but we are down to 6. Talking about World Series, the fantasy tables are updated now up to up to 63 events in total now. Blair Reid still leads the way on 296 points. Des, you've got 136, so you're 160 off the pace.
To be honest, that's not too badly. That's more than I had a week ago, let me tell you.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, there are 6 columns of scores.
Yep.
Yeah, you're in the 6th column, but you are top of that 6th column. So you're like National League South. You're the winning the National League South in football terms. That's level. Is that 6th level? Yeah, that's 6th tier, isn't it? Yeah.
So like any good sporting director, Lee, I'm going to go back and look at that article that I used to research my team, i.e. the team manager, and I'm going to say, what the hell are you playing at here? You're out. You're gone.
Yeah.
We're not going to do this again next year. That said, I don't think I'm going to shame the publication in question. I don't think I can do that.
No, you'll be okay. Blair Reid leads the way. Talk Club currently in 2nd place, joint 2nd place of Paul Roper. Carl's team doing quite well, 265 points. Barry Cullen is up there as well. Chris Hyam, Gaz Howard's in that left-hand column. So is Dawn Cook. Hearts of Queens. Notice that both the charity teams that I put together are doing better than both of my teams.
Detail.
Says it all. Paul Haycock's in that top. Simon Lawler's 2nd team is in that left-hand column. Stephen Fisher's 2nd team is in there as well, as is Simon Brooks.
Basically, everybody that's got Benny Glazer.
I would imagine there's probably not many people in that first column that haven't got Benny Glaser, I would imagine. Although he did just bubble one the other day, I saw.
Did he?
He was looking okay, and then he ended up, stone cold bubbling it. So, which was very disappointing because you get nil point for that. Unfortunately, not much you can do. But 63 events booked up, so still another 37 to pick up points on. So I mean, still a long way to go with that one. But John doing a fantastic job as always, keeping it all ticking along quite nicely for us.
Hard to see. It's probably hard to see a winner coming out of, that second, third group. Of course, the bottom 60 odd percent. I don't think the winner's coming from that lot.
You need some serious. Well, mind you, in saying that, somebody can go on as we said. There's still a third of the events to go yet. I think Simon Lawler's just calling you Yeovil. I think you've just been called Yeovil.
I think he's calling me Vil, but he's just doing it in a very kind of American style. I think that's what's going on there. I think the winner is likely to come out of your top 10 or top 20 sort of runners there.
Somebody could still, you'd imagine so.
I mean, the main is hard to score in, Lee, right? It's really hard to get decent points in the main.
I mean, so there's 64 points between 20th and 1st at the moment. So that feels, trying to probably catch up any more than that is probably going to be a little bit of a push. But I mean, Blair is 23 points ahead of anyone at the moment. So had a decent run. And but hey, you can just as easily find those that were scoring for you aren't scoring anymore, and I guess you're also going to see maybe a number of players now playing the main, which obviously stops them from playing other events as well. Because obviously their focus is going to be on that. If you've got any of the big names that have a half decent run in the main, they're still only going to pick up a point for cashing, but they could end up playing for 4 or 5 days. Do you know what I mean?
Which elsewhere,
So from a fantasy league point of view, really, the chances of anyone in your team making the FT of the main is really remote. So arguably, you'd rather they bust day one and get on playing other events, because that feels a sensible way to look at it, I think.
It's a funny way to thank the players who are going to ultimately secure you the prize. Just bust out of the main as soon as you can, please, there, Benny. Out. You anti-rail them. Love it. And Simon goes on to say, 100k PLO next week. Wow, that could be interesting. Small field, wildly variant game. That could be really interesting.
Yeah, it'll. There's been some crazy stuff. I mean, Mizraki winning his
fourth
50k
Players Championship. It's insane.
Like what?
Yeah. And have you seen that trophy? I mean, there are some super impressive names on that trophy.
Well, his name's was on there 3 times before, right?
4 times, Lee.
And now 4. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Matt Ashton is on there. You've got Negreanu won it last year. Was it Chip? Did Chip Reese win the first one? Or was it initially? It's the Chip Reese trophy. I'm trying to think who won the first one. It was quite a well-known player. I can't.
How long's it been going for? Because I thought I read something which said that
20 years.
Yeah, he's like won a quarter of them or something like that at the times it's been run or something like that. Yeah, something silly. Mad. Yeah, which is just And obviously it's a tough one to win because it's a stacked field, and obviously the variance the games you play in is just absolute nonsense. Seymour tilts. Alan is all in and has been called by the Ambler man. King 3. Neil with Jack would get Alan out of it, not to be this time, and Alan will have to make do with the stack of seats he's already got his name attached to. Not to be this week. Oh, actually, he's got 2 bigs back. Actually, I'll tell a lie. He wasn't at risk. It was the other way around. So the Amblerman gets a full double up. So Alan is now all in. I'm going to imagine is going to get called by one, if not both of them in the blind. Well, Tony's definitely called well with 9s. Obviously, he's going to need to be a deuce and only a deuce. And there's only 2. Well, the 9 does it. Yeah, the 9 does it. And we are now down to 4. So we are officially on the bubble now. Third place is going to pick up. No, it's third place is going to pick up £84 in cash. So that's not bad though. That's gets you. What will it get you? Get you a night out with Scouse in Liverpool, or it might get you a burger from Five Guys in Nottingham. I mean, there's your option.
80 quid is not going to get you a night out with Scouse. I'm telling you that for a fact. Leigh, the trophy, the 50k trophy, did you see the APAT player on it? Huh? There's an APAT player on the 50k? Who's that, Simon? I didn't think we'd won that one, Leigh.
Yeah, did we tag team it or something? No, I don't think. Yeah,
yeah, a little confussed there. Do let us know who that was. Yeah, Chip Reese won it, and it was Horse that year. I think he won it the first year.
Okay,
and it was Horse.
So that's before it then became.
Yeah, because then he died, right?
But what is it now? So is it dealers? Is it dealers'
choice now? They call it the 50k
now?
Players Championship. But I assume they haven't taken Chip Reese's name off of it.
No, yeah. But I'm just so what's the variant? What is the actual variant that they
Oh, it's like isn't it a multi game?
Yeah, played APAT at Aspers.
Oh yeah, this bloke.
Right, okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's one of ours. He's a member.
He's Welsh, isn't he? Yeah.
He's Welsh. He's from what's the name of that place, Leigh?
Don't tell Stephanie.
Pontefract. He's Welsh. He's from Pontefract.
Yeah, don't tell Stephanie's playing for the Welsh team this year. Oh, he's the ringer they've got in. Loads, by the way. Check it out. 9 game. There you go. So loads of the teams have now been announced for the Worlds. So do go and check out the Facebook page. England team's been announced. Welsh team's been announced. I saw a sneaky little vid go up yesterday to do with the Irish team. So I saw that. That go up.
Can you name any names?
Ben's announced the Scottish team. I think the Swiss team have confirmed. I think I saw the North Macedonia team as well were confirmed. The US team have been announced.
German team is known.
Because they won obviously they won the event earlier on in the year. So Stefan and that team will be over for representing Germany. Really pleased for Stefan as well.
Long deserved
forward to that
debut.
Yeah, absolutely.
Long deserved.
Yeah. So that'll be superb. So yeah, they're all sort of coming together quite nicely now. Which I'll have to start thinking about a spreadsheet. Des, it's getting to that sort of time where I'm start. Yeah.
If you're a team player, you're gonna have to start learning about your odds and your evens. I mean,
well, then, yeah,
I get confused by that stuff, Leigh. In the heat of battle, you know.
Yeah.
Oh no, did I say odd? Was it odd for good or bad? I can't remember now.
Yeah, exactly. What was the rules again? Remind me. Yeah, how does it work?
You told me to call you, but you've got aces. Oh yeah, I got it wrong. Ha! Sorry.
Yeah.
Simon says Macedonia, which is, well, rather kind of random in the whole. Do we have a Macedonian team, Leigh?
Nuts.
I don't think we have
that's
Macedonian
macadamia.
Team.
That's macadamia, isn't it? Sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
No Italy, correct? We should have an Italian team.
Yeah, not yet. So they've not all been announced yet. So just those that have kind of got on with it have basically got on with it. So
I can't wait for the 11-handed though, Leigh. The 11-handed MTT. It's one of my favourite parts of that team event.
Yeah, we're going to keep the PLO 11-handed because that was really popular.
3 cards each.
Year. They basically share a card. So that's how we're going to work with your neighbour.
Deuces are wild.
You share a card with your neighbour, the two of you. So that's how it's going to work.
But only one of you can use it.
Yeah. So you have to basically go into UN negotiations to which one of you is going to get to use it.
Well, if the card is oddly, it falls to the player on the right. If the card is even, it falls to the player on the left.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It's what could possibly go wrong?
We'll be in tighty sit and go territory before we know it.
Oh, yeah. So it will be crazy. Let's just have a look at the stacks here now. So Steve Forty's got the chip lead with 27 bigs. Other three are similar-ish, between 10 and 18. And Tony's all in.
Committed now.
And Armadillo Grim lets it go. So Armadillo is now going to be our short stack with 10 bigs. And puts half of them in the middle, against Steve Forty, who says I'm not having any of that. Well. Did you watch? Did you catch any of Neil Young last night from?
No,
from
I didn't. I didn't, Lee. I can listen to a 1970 sort of Neil Young song or two, but I'm not sure I want to see him live at 80, whatever he is. But fair dues, respect.
He put on a fine performance. Not to everybody's liking. That's
a couple of deep cuts. I read a couple of deep cuts. One at about 16 verses. The people left to go to the loo.
And and I think he had a bit of a run-in with the BBC beforehand as well, so he wouldn't let them live stream it and all sorts of stuff. So it all kind of kicked off a little bit, and basically it was a very much there wasn't anything. I wouldn't suggest it was entertaining. If you rocked up on the Saturday night thinking I'll stick Glastonbury on, let's see who the headliner is on the pyramid stage on a Saturday night. We'll get a few bevies in, and we'll not really going to be your thing.
Sean and I were lying in the master suite and watched a bit of the 1975 wanker.
Very good.
Thought.
I thought they were.
I thought they were good, but Mr. Lead Singer, he's got a bit of about him, hasn't he?
He very much has. Yeah. He is an entertainer. Caught Rod Stewart this afternoon. That was an excellent hour and a half. Very, very good. Again, 80s. Very impressive.
I'll tell you, I do like an old rocker, Lee. Hello. What's happening here? Oh.
All in a call, and it's going to be a double up for the.
Oh, look at that!
I think. No, and it is
the 5 on the end
with the 2 pair counterfeited on the river, and double top. Steve Forty goes from chip leader to our short stack. He's now got 7 bigs. And the Ambler man is in a very good position. Yeah, Simon's in the chat going, needed another 3 hours last night of Neil Young. Yeah, absolutely. I think he would have quite happily carried on.
So, Lee, as you know, I do like an old rocker. Bruce being my favourite. And Bruce used to do the old 4-hour shows. He's down to about 3 hours now, friends, but he is 75. But, in classic Bruce style, he released 7 new albums on Friday. 7.
Wow.
7.
That's ridiculous.
It's been really difficult going through them, Lee, I have to say. But this is work that we have to.
But people will buy them, won't they? So
you're too right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Steve's going to be a bit gutted after that, Lee. But can he keep the rage at bay here and work his way through this? It's an
unfortunate one because obviously he's hit 2 pair there, and to be honest, the kings aren't going anywhere at this point when you're 4-handed. I mean, it's not really
mistakes. He had top pair on the flops, right? So
just one of those things. No, nothing much you can do about it.
Simon says new. Well, actually, factually, that is a very good point, Simon. Not many of those albums were new, but they were new to spend your hard-earned on.
Have they been remastered? Is that the?
No. He put them together over time, and then typical Bruce decided, I don't like that one anymore. I'll leave that one on the. But they were fully mixed and everything, so just put them out. Of course, excellent I suppose stuff. When you sell your back catalogue you sell the whole shebang to Sony for, I don't know what it was, 600 million or whatever. I guess they're going to put stuff out.
So how does it So it's not him that's made that decision. It's because he sold his back catalogue. Now they've gone looking through, gone right. What's not been released, and we'll just go make some money on whatever's not been released. Or how does it? When you sell your back catalogue, if he's got stuff that he's written and worked on but he's never released, do they get to have that as well?
No,
or
I
not?
wouldn't. Well, it depends on the individual terms of the thing, right? He might have said as part of a sale, and by the way, I've got. Because he sort of said,
but
well,
I'm assuming they're buying his back catalogue, and they must, I presume, be buying anything he does moving forward.
Be down to a deal, right? He might have said, you know, this is from a back catalogue, but I've also got, you know, an extra 10 albums that are kind of sitting there, and we'll put them out over the next 3 years. He obviously is not going to put anything out that he isn't happy with. I think he's been very kind of stringent on that over the years, and they're good, but some of them go back to the mid 80s. Like 1983 is the oldest, and 2019 is the newest.
Armadillo, Grim, fishing there. Half stack goes in with King 3, gets called by double top 40 with a 9-3, hits the 9, and oh wow. No,
Steve's taking that.
Yeah, but it's pretty dirty, to be honest. I mean,
Armadillo was ahead in the flop, right, when the money went in.
Yeah, no, it was all in pre. It was.
Oh, was he?
Was it?
Okay.
Well, it's not. Steve will admit that's not nice. Unfortunately, for Armadillo.
Simon is saying here, looked at the cutting floor and rehashed. There might have been a reason they weren't released. Yeah, because, over the period of time, he's released a super small number of albums. No question on quality. There's some really good stuff there. Really good stuff. But, I wouldn't expect them to attract new Springsteen fans. I think it's predominantly for the long...
Queen 10 at risk here and has hit and has done more than hit.
Whoa.
And it's going to be a double up for Armadillo Grim through Tony Ross.
Wowzers.
Back up to 7 bigs. Nobody wants to go here when we get shorty. They seem to hit some cards.
Yeah, he said, no, it was lovely play. If I fold, the other 3 would just bully me. Yeah, he was down to a relatively small number of bigs.
It's a horrible...
Here again. He's made it work. Wow.
And he's got it in with the ace 10 and has knocked out Armadillo Grim. This, unfortunately, is going to be our bubble player this time round. Steve has now got himself in a nice place. So Amblerman is our chip leader here with 38 bigs, and the other 2 have got 19 each. So Amblerman has half the chips in play.
But it's still pretty...
And they're all in the money now. So £84 for third place now, or there's a 140 seat. So I'd imagine this might just loosen up a bit here now and go, okay, well let's get our chips in. Maybe they've done some sort of deal whereby one of them gets an extra bonus if they win, and so you might find now it's just somebody watch the bet sizing here, whether it's odds or evens. Right, Steve's bet 1.4. Right, he's bet something with a 40 in it, so the other 2 folded. Right, I can see some sort of collusion going on here, Des. We need to keep an eye on this. This looks
they've seen the internal memo.
Yeah, this looks very dodgy. Tony Ross is all in, and let's see whether Steve's going to... No, he's not going to. I'm going to say this is the way to play this now. I guess you've locked up £84 for your trouble. So see if you can spin that up now to the 140 seat. Yeah, Steve's right in what he says. He says it was lovely. I mean, I wouldn't say making the call with 9-3 offsuit is lovely, but I guess you're thinking your 9-3 is probably live.
I look at a hand like that. That's exactly what I think. Yeah. At least I'm live, and therefore I'm only a 60-40 dog. You can only sweat away for so long.
And it's worked out. It's worked out well for Steve because it got him the double up there, and then won a couple of hands, and now he is in the money and playing for the huge media exposure.
Significantly.
It won't be from us, but obviously if Steve wins it, we'll never hear the end of it. We'll forget about it quite quickly, but Steve won't. He'll be on Facebook. He'll be on Facebook Messenger with me all night talking about it, about the 9-3. That's all I'm going to hear.
Have you seen the hand in our little image at the bottom underneath you there, Leigh? King 5. That's what we're promoting as. Whoa, look at that. Looks pretty.
Nice.
Looks pretty from here. King 5 offsuit.
What you want to? Yeah, it's what you want to play. So Amblerman and Mr. 40 going at it in this hand. 6-10 deuce on the board, and Amblerman gets that one through. So Steve is now the shorter of the three, and I think he's got the fewest chips at this table as well. I'm really going through my comedic repertoire this evening. I think we're about done, to be honest.
You were done a while ago.
I was probably done at the nuts macadamia thing. I think probably, to be perfectly honest.
I just let that slide.
That was me. Probably we'll just blame that on the weather. Yeah. So
still, it's better than talking about kneecap.
Well, we're not allowed to. We can't.
We'd have to take the stream down, Leigh.
No, we can't talk about kneecap. Definitely not. So this is getting close to a conclusion. So just shout out again for raffles draws tomorrow night. If you want to win some APAT seats, there's an APAT 140 seat available. I think hopefully there's some tickets left for that, and there's also the WSOP £560 seat credit that you can win as well tomorrow night. We'll pick both those winners again.
There we go.
Tomorrow night, all in. King 6 at risk, hits a king, but Amblerman hits an ace, and that is going to be that. And Steve is going to have to settle for £84. Congratulations to Renot and the Amblerman, both picking up an APAT Players' Choice seat for 2025. We will see you both at an event later on this year. Whichever one you fancy playing, just let Tom Brady know. I'll pop that message in the Facebook group as well. But basically, you can just let Tom know in advance, because it just helps him organise his buy-ins. But if you did rock up on the day, he will be able to gather enough pennies together to be able to put you into the event without too much problem. So as I was saying, if you've been unlucky with the satellite tonight, not for you, can always give Poker Raffles a go tomorrow night. 2 chances on that. That Malta draw, which I was talking about earlier on. So you guys are the first to hear about that tonight. We haven't actually advertised that yet through Poker Raffles. That is going to be a corker if you're planning on playing out in Malta in the autumn. Well worth giving that one a go. But we'll do it all again this time next week with these satellites. So you've got all week to work through the feeders, go £1 into 5, 5 into 30, get your £30 tickets, register on time, and we'll kick off on time at 8 o'clock next Sunday would be ideal. But bear in mind, you've got now 3 weeks to go until Liverpool. So actually, you've probably only got it'll be 3 weeks' time. So you've got 2 weeks, 2 more weeks of satellites if you want to get a ticket for Liverpool via the satellites on Grosvenor Poker. So give it a whirl.
Give it a whirl. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. We had a laugh with you, as Leigh said. We're back next Sunday night. And to be honest, play the game, join us. We'll have a bit of a laugh, right? Well, what better way to end the weekend than with friends? Outside of that, Poker Raffles tomorrow night at 9 p.m. as usual, if you are so inclined. If not, we will see you next weekend. Have a great week in the meantime. Good night, everyone.